Master Mirrorkall here. So thank you for joining me in this now moment for Flow Friday, where I do an intuitive energy reading. Something that I've kind of been guided to do not only for the collective, but for myself, to elevate my own consciousness and kind of expand my own psychic abilities, right? So if you've been guided here to watch this first intuitive energy reading, thank you so much for joining me in this moment. I'm really excited to kind of be venturing out here and to connect with you, right? So let's jump in. So the first thing I'm really picking up on is sensing, and this is something I'm personally navigating too, and I've been seeing a lot within my own reality and those closest to me. Really looking at the areas of our personalities, of our egos, of the structures that we've built for ourselves and for the way that we interact with our reality. We're really starting to look at what I'm being shown now is the ones and the zeros, that binary, the basic. How are we programmed? What is it that's controlling our reality? What are the concepts, the ideas, the thoughts, the beliefs that you were not forced to believe, but that were given to you when you were younger, growing up, subconsciously, in the background? All of these areas of our lives are a reflection of certain aspects of our soul. And these areas are sending signals to our subconscious, and our subconscious is responding to these signals, and we're not even aware of it. So there are these aspects of our reality that are coming forth. Things maybe we weren't even aware that were bothering us, right? So for me personally, in my own journey, just a couple years ago, I was kind of in a darker space, right? And my behavior was definitely not in alignment with who I truly am. However, that behavior or those actions in those moments needed to happen in order for me to get where I am today. And so I'm seeing that a lot of others who are going on these inner journeys, doing this shadow work, really processing their entire being with love and compassion, are starting to be shown these moments, right? Starting to be shown the areas where they may have judged not just others but themselves, right? Where they have maybe, I guess right now I'm seeing abandonment, being abandoned, maybe abandoning others or feeling like that has happened. What else am I seeing for you guys? Jealousy is something else that's really been kind of like, I guess, an emotion that's been interesting, that's been not necessarily coming up for me personally, but something I've been seeing for the consciousness a lot, that there's just a lot of this envy, a lot of jealousy going around, and I'm not exactly sure like of what accord, right? But maybe you personally have some area of your life where you're feeling jealous of something someone else has. And so you're judging your own experience because you're looking at someone else's experience. And, I've done this in my own journey, looking at, excuse me, looking at someone else and where they're at and what they have, and not, not really sitting down and understanding what it took for them to get there. And this is common for us because it's common in American society and American culture to really to look outside of the self, to make sure you're doing it right or going about it the right way, right? um, but at the end of the day, each experience is meant for that specific individual, right? So for you, whatever you're experiencing is what you are meant to experience. And to sit and look at someone else's experience and, you know compare it to what you are experiencing only does you a disservice, because then you start judging what you are experiencing and not really looking at it and being like, well, this did happen for a reason, for myself, for my growth. So yeah, that's something that I'm picking up, that some of you may be experiencing, and this is common in the self mastery. Really, is what that comes down to, is mastering the self and the soul, and understanding how your reality is programmed. That's what your soul is your reality, how you are as a totality, as uh, in Egyptian culture, right? We have 360-degree senses. Uh, so what may not be seen because you're comparing, right, can be seen if you only look at what you are experiencing. Um, what else am I sensing here? So, yeah. Okay. As we all know, um, I don't know if you could hear that in the background. We're all living life, right? As you all know, there is stuff going on, politically. And I'm not going to venture too far into that, because it's that's one for one's own self to come to an understanding about. Um, just know that as a whole, the picture has more to it. If you're willing to do the research, sit back, understand that it's all part of the bigger picture. Um, yeah, just know that they want you to believe that history repeats itself, cycles, but you can't break out of that. Which is also part of that whole understanding. Something that has been coming through else a lot is time. People are really getting the clock, man. The clock is really getting a lot of people, and the way that I've come to understand it, I don't look at the take that back. Let me rephrase this. The only times I'm looking at a clock are in moments of synchronicity. So I'm always talking to myself. So if I'm looking at a clock, it's a message for me. And the time is irrelevant to the whole picture. Granted, it is still a part of our reality, and it has its place. But also knowing that time is what you make it and how you perceive it. So what you truly desire and what you truly want in life, or your heart desire, your soul path, your soul mission, like whatever that may be, like if you want to do those things, you will do them, no matter what kind of time you think you may have. So time is a constant. It is a construct. It is something that doesn't exist outside of this earthly plane. And a clock is man-made, So, you know, again, that's another thing, like meditate on, sit with, talk to your guides with, I hear you there too. Someone else is asking, how do you connect to your guides? How can you gain a stronger connection there with your guides? Um, and this, for everyone, is going to be slightly different, but ultimately, it's what I found in my own personal journey. It comes down to your openness and your curiosity and your adaptability to the form of communication that you're having with them. Just as my eyes are closed and I'm speaking to you energetically right now, that is the same way that you would speak with your guides energetically. And it's a language that's cultivated through practice. And then that's something else that really, I think, I'm being guided to relay is like, these things are points, like ascension is something that is integrated. It's ascension is like the whole. The way that I see it is ascension is like that soul evolution. It's getting it's getting the unity back into the community. And I mean, it's been coming up a lot recently about the Hopi um, prophecy of the rainbow tribe. That's what's happening right now. All colors, all creeds, across all nations, across the planet are coming together, learning and understanding and um, evolving our consciousness as a whole. So that's part of the reason why this video is being made as well. The intuitive energy readings, that is a part of consciousness evolution. It's a part of expanding your mind, understanding yourself, understanding other people, understanding more than the linear time construct, right? Multidimensionality is more than the linear time construct. So when you start diving into quantum physics or quantum physics, really, like you start really diving into that type of science, you start understanding that now is the only thing that does exist. Your consciousness has just been waiting for you to get to this point, to listen to this video, or to do this work, or to be in this point so you can grow more. Evolution is the point of life almost. And not just the one point, but like when you look at life, like what are you doing? Right? If you step outside of the matrix, what are you doing? You're experiencing different things at different moments to grow. And I mean, that's just as nature does. Like it is continuously evolving and adapting. Um, yeah. What else do we got? So I'm being guided to share an acronym that I picked up in a PTSD program that I was in. And it's called Put Your Coat On. Coat meaning curiosity, openness, adaptability, and transparency. And I say this as like as a form of protection, because really you're putting your coat on to step out in the cold, but you're going outside in the cold because you're curious and you're open and you're adaptable because you put your coat on, and then you're being transparent because you're like, hey, I'm curious. And you know, this is just a little something that like has helped me, like being curious and being open and being adaptable in all now moments really helps everything ebb and flow, because we are the creator of our reality. So the experience that we're experiencing ultimately stems from an emotional response that we're having to the experience that we're experiencing. So if for whatever reason you're not happy with the situation, there is ultimately something that you can do different to navigate the situation if you can't control something, right? So just put your coat on and see what happens. um, what else do we got here? Oh, a little bit more about guides. I kind of went off on a little tangent there. See. I personally do sort of like, I call it ritual if you want, but I kind of honor the space for them. It's it's like honoring your higher self, or like honoring a higher power, right? Something outside of self that you see is helping you or guiding you, that has more knowledge than what you do. So you would want to respect and honor that. Um, just opening the door and allowing yourself to know that it is feasible or it is possible really is key. What else? So I know a lot of folks, and this is kind of coming in now, I know a lot of folks are dealing with inner child trauma. Um, it's a key piece to a lot of things, if I do say so myself. And how would you put this? Know that the imagination and allowing it to roam and observe and have freedom. Be a child sometimes. Don't be afraid to be childlike sometimes. It is okay. I'll tell you now, like, I have moments where I'm kind of childlike. Um, and there isn't anything in expressing yourself and like anything wrong in expressing yourself in that manner, so long as it's not, how do I put this, not so long as anything, um, it's just it's okay. Be curious, be creative, be funky. That's what children are. Like, they really are. I look, like, specifically right now I'm seeing my 5-year-old niece, um, and she, just like sassy, like she just is who she is. And and that's really a big message for 2020, is just be who you are, and don't fear that. Like, I call my wife Boob, she calls me Boob. We're a pair of boobs. And we say that to each other because it's funny, and like, why be ashamed of that? Like, it's sentimental to us. And so, like, embrace those differences that you do have and honor others' differences. That's something else that's been really coming through, is like, I know personally my situation right now, without going into many details, is like, they're just so diff there's just such drastic differences in perceptions of reality that they kind of can clash a little bit. And just accepting that there's beauty in both ways of being can allow you to transcend some of the underlying emotional triggers that you may be experiencing. This is something that's personally helped me. At some point, you're kicking a dead horse if you keep, and that's a euphemism, right? You're just kind of like churning mud at a certain point, even processing the situation. You just have to, it's something that you have to yang it. You just got to yang it. Just got to do something different. Yang, right? Oh, yeah. Art. Seriously. Paint, draw, color, poetry, music, play instruments, sing, all of the above, right? Be artistic, be creative, be creative. That's really coming through for the inner child, right? This will unlock a lot of things. Finger painting, I did that in a PTSD program, and I released all kinds of emotional trauma. Like some of the heaviest processing I've done before, because I actually don't have any recollection of finger painting at all as a child. So doing it as an adult was just mind blowing, and it's kind of wild even like thinking about that right now. Which reminds me, maybe I'll do a finger painting. um, what else? So I just know this energy is transformative, and I know that's been being said about a lot of the energy, but that's what this energy is for. Is a catalyst for all of us, and it's going to be a catalyst for all of us in different space times. So that's why it's catalytic. um, but yeah, what else? Intuition. Ooh, light. Intuition, right? Uh, what is it? What can it feel like? How do you know that it's your intuition? For me personally, I just know. It's like my whole body sends a signal to my brain, right here, and it's just like, yeah. And here, as my that's I guess that's like my base psychic ability is clairsentience or clairvoyance, and clairsentience. They kind of like go hand in hand almost. Um, and that's evolved into clairaudience and um, the like. So yeah. Did I see anything else? Got anything else? I think I got all of it so far, what I can sense. So, yep. Thank you for joining me in this little snippet. Drop comments below, questions, topics. Hit me up. Well, not me, but hit Anto High Ascension Academy up on Patreon. Put the link in the bio or in the description. Check me out on Monday Meditation, Light Warrior Wednesdays. This is Mirrorkall. And thank you for joining me on this intuitive flow Friday energy reading. What's up? Namaste, my friends. Infinite light, infinite love, infinite movement.